Welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing. Yeah, here we are once again. Joel and Ender on a whirlwind adventure. About to watch Okolie versus Glowacki live on Sky Sports main event and DAZN around the world.
Excluding the UK, Ireland and Australia.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
New Zealand.
But yeah, before we get into that,
have some of this.
Are you ready?
my wife was literally having a rave in the lounge. So welcome back.
Easy good. Devin, easy good.
Has anyone got any Veras?
Lovely.
There you go. Welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And we are here for the main event of the evening, Okolie versus Glowacki for the WBO World Cruiserweight Championship. Ender, before we start, give us your prediction.
My prediction is Okolie in 6.
Okay.
Within the first 6 rounds. You're probably going to say Okolie round 7 or something.
Yes. Okolie round 7 to 12.
Oh, you're actually taking 7 to 12. Good man.
Yeah, I am, because Fowler let me down in round 7. Because he finished it in 3.
He did. He obviously had more CBD oil than you thought.
Which, to be fair, was a great finish. As I say, they're in the ring. They've touched gloves. Yeah, we're good to go with this one. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the content. But yeah, enjoy the live stream with us. Predictions, chuck them in the comments, and we can have a look. Yeah, and go from there. Yep. So round 1, here we go. And Glowacki's taking the centre of the ring pretty quick. And
I think you're a little bit ahead of me now.
Yeah, always. And Kyle has sent us a message once again. He's put a prediction for this match. Well, Ender's gone within the first 6 round. I've gone 7 to 12. Kyle, let us know what your prediction is. And your dad's. But yeah. You haven't put a bet on, have you, Kyle? Because we don't.
Until we get gambling sponsored, then you can talk about them all you want.
But no, it's all good. It's all good. As I say, welcome to JG's Fight Talk. You're with me, the Essex lad, and our favourite Paddy, end of the line.
Mm-hmm. The Paddy and the white boy geezer from Essex. It's a little bit tasty. No, that's West End, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry, it's East End. West End is all that jazz.
Anyway, going back to the boxing, a minute and a half.
Back to boxing or manly
minute stuff. And a half in, and Okolie's, centre of the ring. Glowacki, pretty much. They're just trying to figure each other out, aren't they, at the moment?
And Glowacki is fighting southpaw.
Yeah, which is really awkward. But Okolie, he's got really interesting, he's such an interesting shape, isn't he? He's not your typical cruiserweight. As you were saying, I know he's sort of vying for the heavyweight division next, isn't he? But it's
very long arms and very long legs.
Yeah. Almost like a basketball player's physique.
Well, if a basketball player went to the gym and benched like lots.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Kyle has said KO round 9. No bet.
Fair enough.
As I say, if you're joining us for the first time, chuck some comments in. Let us know what you think the prediction is going to be for this fight. It's been a great evening of boxing so far. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. Ender, what's been your favourite fight so far?
I think I really enjoyed the Cordina fight, actually. I liked it. And I know it went to distance, but Cordina is a very skillful boxer, and he's been the most skillful boxer I've seen tonight. And, okay, if he had a finishing punch, he'd be the full package. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, it has been an interesting one. I liked the Billum Smith fight. I know he could have finished it a bit earlier, but he kind of showed both sides of what he can do. You know, he's got that power there, but at the same time, he was in against a very resilient guy, wasn't he? That wasn't really going to go anywhere, even though really he could have got him out in that round 6, but it just wasn't meant to be, was it? It's just one of those fights. Really awkward opponent. Up to this point, we obviously had the first fight was Bradley Rhea versus Lee Cutler. Bradley Rhea just went in there and destroyed 10 fights now, 10 wins, 4 knockouts.
You give the review and I'll be backing him up.
No worries, mate. As I say, looked really good. And then we had Ramla Ali versus Beck Connolly. Ramla Ali, she just won on points, basically. Beck Connolly was there for the fight and she put one up. But Ali was just dictated well with the jab. Then we had Chris Billum Smith. Great tough fight. Knocked Decor down twice, but yeah, it was one of those that was going the distance. Then we had Eleni Scottley versus Gangloff, and Ellie Scottley won on points again. Then we had Anthony Fowler against Fortea, and he won at the 3 rounds, won by knockdown. Absolute great knockout. You got to watch it. And then the last fight was Joe Cordina versus Karbonov. Just went the full distance. Cordina got the victory, but it was just one of those fights. Ender's favourite of the evening, but yeah, now we're in round 2. Okolie versus Glowacki for the WBO World Cruiserweight title. They're both just sort of trying to sort of fill the fight out at the moment. If you got a prediction, stick it in the comments. We'll have a look at it. We'll put it on the screen. If you want to talk about the other fights, any fights coming up, we've obviously got next weekend. We've got the Dillian White versus...
Or if you have a fight coming up, give us a shout and we'll big up you. Best of luck if you do have a fight coming up.
Yeah, definitely. But as I say, we've got Dillian White versus Povetkin next weekend, which is going to be a good one. We'll be doing a live stream on that one.
My mate has got his pro MMA debut on the 10th of April, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think you told me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
He's a good lad.
Give him a shout out. I hope he goes and does well that day. And there's people that we talk to, isn't there, on a daily basis through Twitter and Facebook and that sort of thing, who have got stuff coming up. But we'll put that news out there as soon as we get it. As you say, we had Nicola Hopewell on earlier. She's destined for good things.
Great girl.
And she's got a fight in April. So we're just waiting on the date for that one. But as soon as we hear something concrete, we'll get that over to you as well. But yeah, we're in round 2, Okolie versus Glowacki. And Okolie just sort of boxing at distance at the moment. Glowacki looks like he just wants to throw like a hammer, doesn't he? Really, to be honest. I think he wants to get him out of there.
But that might be what he's got, you know.
Kyle, if you're not going to bed anytime soon, he's put in Okolie will definitely deliver good jabs, hooks. And he reckons he'll KO the opponent in round 9.
What age is Kyle?
Kyle, he's 15.
Oh, yeah, he's upstairs, like.
Yeah. Well, no, he's probably downstairs watching it with his dad.
He's probably in bed.
He's probably in bed.
Very good.
Yeah, Kyle will be awake longer than all of them.
Yeah, but it sounded like me. I go to bed and I'm on my phone half the night.
Well, yeah. Remember that time when I rang you and you went, "Oh no, I said I was going to bed, not to sleep."
Exactly.
That was when we were getting up for like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. I went to bed at 6 o'clock or something, and then it rang. I thought you were going. Yes,
Just to let people know, we are doing a live stream next weekend as well for Dillian White versus Alexander Povetkin, a great heavyweight clash. There's a lot on the line in that fight as well, and it's going to be in Gibraltar, isn't it? So
yes,
good
on the
card.
Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah, it's going to be a good card in that one. So,
We're not fighting on the horse, by the way. We're fighting on the British overseas territory.
But until then, we're in round 3. Okolie, just dictating the fight with his jab really at the moment. And Glowacki he's just throwing hammers, isn't he? He just wants to get Okolie out of there. There's no sort of he's not working the jab at all, is he?
No, he's like, I want to kill you.
In the exact
See, my dodgy accents are back.
that sort of Terminator voice.
No, if he dies, he dies.
To be fair, Okolie won the first 2 rounds because he's just jabbing so well, isn't he?
Yep.
Very good movement for a guy that size, using the reach advantage.
Well, in fairness, for a big guy, he doesn't look just like a big lump. He looks very
agile, actually.
That's exactly the word I was going to say. He looks very agile, and like you said, he's a basketballer's physique. If a basketballer did
the
big
weight.
weights.
Well, we've had another message from Kyle. He is the only one awake, and he said an opinion on Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury.
I don't watch celebrity shite.
We'll put it this way: if Jake Paul gets in with Tommy Fury, I can't see it lasting very long. That's all I'm going to say.
They should have it on ITV fucking 2.
Just put it on YouTube.
Actually, yeah, YouTube would be better.
To be fair, we'll still do a live watch along on it because
No, we won't.
because
You do it with Joel or with Kyle.
Yeah, I'll get Kyle on and we'll do a live watch along. And but yeah, this fight, it's
and I'll be in the comments just bitching and moaning.
Yeah, it's fine. But we're it's pretty much like the last fight, really, isn't it? At the moment,
No, last fight had skill.
No, as in Lawrence is just standing the ground, working the jab.
Now they're having a bit of a wrestling match.
Boxing, Miles is back. Been a bit boring this one, but Okolie doing what he has to do.
Exactly, Miles.
That's all it is at the moment. Do what you got to do to win, isn't it? So
do what you got to do. It was Rocky that said that, wasn't it?
To be fair, I don't even know if Rocky said that, to be honest.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that sounds...
I prefer potato.
I have got my wife sat opposite me, if you hear giggling in the background.
Potato.
But
no more talk of potatoes. I'm writing your name down on the list.
So, Ender, pretty much 3 rounds to Okolie, really, in the bank, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't see this going the distance, so I'm not even bothering to score it.
Yeah, it's, Lawrence, 15 fights, 15 wins, 12 KOs. Glowacki, 33 fights, 31 wins, 19 KOs.
Oh.
It's quite a resume.
Yeah, but that means then that he had...
And just for a bit of info...
11 fights that went the distance, which I'm surprised about. But anyway.
He lost.
Is every ad
he
on
lost
fucking
the
Sky
last
Sports
fight.
Anthony Joshua?
He lost the last fight.
But is every ad on Sky Sports Anthony fucking Joshua?
Yes. But yeah, going back to this, Glowacki lost the last fight. And apparently it was a really dodgy decision.
Yeah, you were saying that, and your man vacated, so that's why.
Yeah, because there was supposed to be a rematch, and he had, I think it's usually like a 30-day period, isn't it, where you have to get the deal signed and sorted. And the WBA gave him that length of time, and he basically said
Signed,
no.
sealed, delivered.
Yeah, and he
And
said no,
yours.
and he had to vacate it. So this is why we're seeing this fight. Basically, great body
My
shot.
eyes are very tired now. You know that.
Okolie, just great body shot there.
I've put on my glasses.
But same old from Okolie at the moment. Just dictating the fight with the jab. He caught him well there. Great right hook. Okolie's really starting to settle in now, isn't he? He's really sort of bedding into the fight. And
Yeah, he better win the next 3 rounds or I'm done.
Glowacki, I reckon, you know,
Didn't somebody have him in 4? Well, they ain't going to win any money.
He's kind of, I don't know. He's just looking for that massive shot, isn't he? He's not really. Well, look, before we get onto that one, he's a former world champ. Yeah, he is. And
Did he hold this belt?
And we've had a shout out from Black Scorpion. Thanks, mate. Shout out to the host, guest, and chat room. Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. Cheers, guest. Cheers. I'm the guest, am I?
I think he's calling you guest, but hey. But you know, anyone that's watching this before.
No, I'm not taking offense. I'm actually.
Yeah,
props.
but he's
getting a shout out. That's all I mean.
Giving you a shout out, mate. And there you go. But thanks for coming on.
Chat room. How many is in the chat room?
Let us know if you're watching the fight, what your predictions are. If you've got any comments on the fight so far, how do you see it going? If you're here for the first time, hit the subscribe button. Check out the content. As I say, we're going to be here next weekend for Dillian White Povetkin. We'll see what other fights are on the bill as well. But I know there's plenty of fights on that card that look.
Oh, that was a crunching body shot.
But the eye of Glowacki, the right eye, is really starting to go, isn't it? You can see a lot of swelling around that eye now. They're working on it in the corner.
But Okolie had a great body shot there as well.
Yeah, some good shots in there now. I tell you, he's landing that right hook, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd love to see, like the punch stats, how many landed our Polish friend has. I'd say it's very low.
I see they're showing Dillian White there, watching it. I don't know whether he's still in Portugal, is he? I think he's still in Portugal, and then he's going over to Gibraltar. Look, Derek Chisora's there. Which, as we were saying earlier, his fight's been announced with Joseph Parker, and then obviously we've got Katie Taylor versus Natasha Jonas, May the 1st. That's going to be an absolute cracker. Black Scorpion again. Sorry, it's my first time on the show. Oh, honestly, don't apologise.
Sorry, apologising for it. Thanks for being on the show, and thanks for commenting. Always good and always appreciated. Yeah,
definitely. And he's dropped us another comment. I saw Okolie's last fight and backed him when he won his last bout. Yeah.
Good man. I take it you're an Okolie fan then?
Yeah, good old Okolie. Cool. That right eye of Glowacki's looking quite nasty now, isn't it?
It is. Any chance he could
he's working it well with that jab.
Yeah.
That jab and that right hook seems to be the but it's definitely that jab that seems to be working that eye really well, doesn't it?
And it's the overhand jab as well,
Yeah, Okolie's working really well in there, actually. He's established himself really well in this fight.
Yeah, as I said, I'd like to see
I think the ref's giving him a warning for a headbutt there for Glowacki.
I'd like to see the CompuBox stats, how many punches has Glowacki actually landed.
Did you notice they don't really show that on Sky Sports as much now, do they?
No.
If you go on DAZN, it's like after every round.
Yeah. But Americans like it.
Yeah.
You know.
I like seeing it, though, to be honest.
So do I. I mean,
His
you know.
punches thrown and landed. I think it's quite a good stat, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't always tell you what's really happening in the round because it can go either way, can't it? But
it can. And as we saw last week, it can expose a very bad decision.
Yeah. But if you look back to the Dillian White versus Povetkin first fight, it's very much that, isn't it? Dillian dictated the fight completely, and Povetkin landed an absolute blinder, didn't he? So
well, that's when you're up at these big
it.
weights. That's what it's about. I mean, you know, one punch can change anything. Like it's different for the lighter guys. You know, there's less likely to be that big killer knockout.
Yeah. What we're going to do next week is we'll do a short show on the breakdown of Dillian White versus Alexander Povetkin. I think that we'll do a small show on that ender and see what people think. We'll do a live show on it. But Black Scorpion, I'm a casual boxing fan but MMA nerd. But two of my really good mates are boxing nerds, so I get education from them. I have to say I like both your perspective on the fights. Thanks, mate.
Well, if I was to choose a moniker description for myself, I'd boxing nerd. I think that would be where I'd categorize myself.
We kind of sit in that one, don't we? And
yeah, but you're cooler than me, so you're not nerdy. You're just a knowledgeable boxing fan, whereas I'm just a nerd.
We like we like doing the homework, don't we? We like digging into the archives.
You're still a cool guy, and I'm just a nerd. And I'm not looking for sympathy. I don't give a shit. Being cool is too difficult. What's she saying now?
She's not part of the show. She just said you won't get any sympathy here.
I just laugh.
I don't. Irish people have never expected sympathy from the Brits.
I would be happy to give many Irish people my sympathy.
Well, anyway, we're round 6, and
this is the last round where I can be correct.
Yes, but I have to say, Okolie is boxing brilliantly in this fight.
He is.
He's well deserving of the world title on at this current stage. He's, as I say, he's down. Glowacki's down.
Oh,
what a shot! What a shot! Body shot, right hand. Glowacki's eye is knackered, and the fight is over.
Woohoo!
Ender has won his bet, and what a fight!
Well, actually, I didn't win my bet because I think he absolutely floored him.
Really long legs, that boxer.
And Shane McGuigan jumped
Well, I don't think Shane's going to lift up him now.
He just did.
Oh my Christ!
But incredible.
Not for very long though.
And very impressive.
Oh my Christ!
Very impressive. Well done, Lawrence Okolie. New BO world champion. Well deserved.
Absolutely.
And, Black Scorpion, great work from Okolie. Yeah.
100% Black Scorpion. I mean, and I'm delighted to see him get it as well because Okolie's talked about moving up to heavyweight, and as I said in the preview show, he needs that kind of knockout, which he got, to be taken seriously at heavyweight. And I think
there's no reason as to why he can't go and unify this division before he moves up. With a performance like that, he's put a statement out now to the other champions, and that's exciting, isn't it, for another British fighter coming through? And you think this was his 16th fight.
There you go. It's another world champion for Britain. Congratulations, guys.
16th fight, and well done, Lawrence Okolie. Really impressive.
No, fair play. And fair play to Shane McGuigan. Produces another world champion. I mean, he brought Josh Taylor to his world champion at the World Boxing Super Series before, obviously, he's moved on to America now to be with Top Rank. But that's another feather in McGuigan's bow, and congratulations to them. So that's the little Irish twitch.
Okolie is really good at jabbing, but I think his defence could be better. Well, the thing is, even when you're at this level, there's always something you can do a little bit better.
Yes.
But he got it bang on tonight, I have to say. Absolutely
Yeah,
brilliant tonight.
And I mean,
what a
he
finish.
kept his opponent at range as well, if you look at it. And that's
Yeah,
a
what a
defensive
finish.
strategy.
But, you know, Glowacki was almost pretty much half to the floor when he took that shot. So he was going, wasn't he? So we've got Boxing Miles, great stoppage from Okolie. Yeah, can't argue with that.
Great combination of Britain and Ireland there. British boxer with an Irish trainer.
There we go. But, yeah, Lawrence Okolie, great job.
Fair play, Lawrence Okolie. And maybe one day he'll do an interview with Joel or something.
God, he's always welcome on.
Poor Shane.
We got, can I ask what you guys make of Daniel Dubois' last outing, and do you think he can come back from that loss? Yeah, 100%. I think he
Of course he can. I mean,
he's what, 24, if that. Yeah, don't get me wrong, nasty eye injury, but luckily no lasting effects. He's been cleared to fight, and I think he's due back around June time, which is great. It'd be great to see him back out again, but he was in a tough opponent, Joe Joyce.
oh, I mean, Joe Joyce.
Absolute mission that day, and
yeah,
but I think he'll come again. I think he's a great fighter.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like the young Irish boxer that lost today. It's not getting knocked down. That's the defeat. It's not getting back up and facing your foes again. So I think, of course, he can come back. You know, I mean, like that. Luckily enough, they did stop the fight in time, so he didn't do any permanent damage to his eye. So now he can come back and fight again. You know, so yes, absolutely. Daniel Dubois can live to fight another day.
Boxing Miles, Joe made him look fairly ordinary, though, to be honest. Well, I don't know if he made him look fairly ordinary.
I think that's a bit harsh now, Miles. I really do.
I think Joe was just got his game plan bang on, and he couldn't let, you know, I think if you let Daniel get into those exchanges, I think you bring Daniel into that fight, and Joe didn't let him. And I think he just had the game plan. He got it spot on. And hopefully they can get that fight sorted with Usyk. I think that'll be a great fight.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Dubois is the world champion of making, like people say, but I believe he has a good career.
Well, I agree with you there. I don't think he's, quite
time will tell, won't it? Time will tell.
I don't think he's quite a genuine world champion material. You know, I mean, there's plenty of world titles floating around. He could pick up one, but no, as a genuine world title holder, I don't think he will be. But I mean, you don't have to have a world title to be a successful pro boxer. You know, I mean, there's very good boxers that compete every day, and
you've got the British,
winning.
You've got European. You know, they get to those levels.
And you look like a boxer like Luke Campbell. I mean, he's fought everyone at the very top, and he's never shied away from a top opponent. And unfortunately, he's not got the decision because he's not as strong a puncher as perhaps you need to be at the pro level. But he's a very good boxer, very skillful boxer, and I'm a big fan of his. So, like that, I wouldn't say Luke's career is a failure if he doesn't win a world title. I think that's just putting too much scope in a world title, because I believe world titles are devalued by the way they're won, by the way opponents are avoided and other opponents are kept.
And we've got regulars, we've got supers, we've got interims, internationals, we've got all sorts of titles. So there are other titles up for grabs anyway. But it's just it's one of those things, isn't it? But going back to the cruiserweight side of things, we've obviously got Okolie is now WBO. IBF is Maris Bridis, who is the guy that fought Glowacki last. and had to drop the WBO. So I reckon that could be potentially the next fight because he might want to get that title back. WBA, Arsen Golamirian. Don't know too much about him, but yeah, he's got the WBA and WBC. Olunga Makubu, which we do know about. Good fighter. And then you've also got Riyad Murhi is the WBA regular. So you've got the 5 belts in there. So there's no reason why Okolie can't go and go and unify, really.
Well, unless he just wants to go to heavyweight quicker than that, I mean.
Mr. Arsenal Podcast. Hello, Ryan. Yes, Ola, big up yourself.
I think
here he is, which is Black Scorpion. Salute to you, Ryan. Salute for sharing your views. Hopefully one day you can check our work from the Combat Show. We go light on boxing, but MMA heavy. Honestly, mate, you're welcome on any time. Come on, have a chat with us.
And send us, put a link in the comments after the fight to your channel or whatever.
Put it in the comments.
I'll definitely subscribe and check it out, man. 100%.
Yeah,
and I'm not the biggest MMA fan, but like I said, my mate is having his first pro MMA fight next month. So, it's good to have an eye in there. And of course, supporting each other in the combat sports, online viewing community. It's a whole thing, I mean, we got to stick together,
Yeah, as you find with me and Ender, we're very open with stuff, and if people come forward and they say, look, can you support my channel? Yeah, we're 100%. We'll
like that. I mean, like if
look into your channels,
but I mean, like if you're a good guy, like Black Scorpion's come on this evening, has been 100% nice and polite and just generally respectful and knowledgeable about what he knows, and like us all, says there's some stuff I know, some stuff I don't. So obviously, Black Scorpion, I'd be all over that channel, man. Respects.
Yeah. Showing some love on here. No, that's what we do on this channel. We're not one of those. We're not those sort of people. We like to have a laugh, take it easy, and
there'll be no kind of tearing people down, especially in the combat sport industry, as Joel and I have both said. I mean, anyone that gets on the ropes or gets in the cage deserves the respect, because they've taken that big thing that not many people have, and they've put on their gloves or their mitts or whatever it is, and they've faced that fighting foe. And everyone that does that deserves respect. So you won't get us kind of trashing people. That's not our style.
No, we've obviously. I've only done one white collar fight, and Ender's been in and done some sparring and stuff like that. But he's also done the judging and refereeing. So
I've refed at national level in Ireland, and
we've got respect for people on that level because we've got an understanding of it. So hats off to any fighter that goes in the ring. There's no one who's you turn around and say, oh, he's no fighter or she's no fighter. Everyone's a fighter that goes in those ropes. So. Hats off to him. But no, thanks for coming on, Black Scorpion. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, props to you, Black. Absolutely. You see, that's why I think I'll be subscribing to your channel.
Boxing Miles. I found a new love for MMA since lockdown. Love their model. Yeah, they've got a great model, and they've been very persistent during lockdown as well. They've managed to get the fights out there. Very similar to Eddie. There wasn't really. He didn't look at an obstacle. He looked at trying to, find a way to get round things. And I think Hearn's done it with boxing as well.
And Eddie's done it very well.
He takes a lot of stick, doesn't he? And I think
but Eddie can put on a show. Like, I mean, it's like
we watched Canelo, didn't we? For example, a couple of weeks ago, we watched Canelo, and quality, wasn't it? The show that he put on was.
I'm just thinking of that movie, The Greatest Showman. I mean, that could be about Eddie Hearn, because he really is like he knows what sells, and he knows how to put on a show, and he knows how to get the hardcore fans, the casual fans, and the non-fans interested as well. you know.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, like, you look at the best pound for pound boxer in the world, Canelo, left uh, Golden Boy Promotions and hooked up with Eddie. So what does that say about Eddie? It says the best boxer in the world wants to be with him. So that's props to Eddie Hearn.
This is it. This is it. Eddie has done an amazing job. I also agree. Well, yeah, so you should agree. We're never wrong. We're always wrong. Kyle's, but what's the best boxing match you have ever watched and why?
I've a very controversial one on that, and it's Ben McClellan. And that was a ferocious fight. I mean, vicious. It's on YouTube. Watch it back. And unfortunately, it wasn't stopped when it should have been. And poor Jared McClellan has suffered brain injuries as a result. But like, he's still a wonderful man, and he's met up with Ben, and they've made their peace. Like, because they're both warriors in the ring, and you know, McClellan acknowledges that, you know, that it's a kind of a blood sport as such. So he doesn't hold any animosity toward Ben for it. I would have issues with you know, certain people's behavior on the night, and one Jim Watt, who was absolutely disgusting what he said on commentary. And that's another reason I'd never slate a fighter like that. Now, I know Jim Watt has fought, and fair dues to Jim Watt, he was a world champion, but I thought he was very unfair on Jared McClellan. If you watch the ITV coverage back, you'll see what I'm talking about. But for me, that was a vicious, vicious fight. And, you know, even though it had a horrible ending, it was probably the best boxing match I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call for me, really, because
Live.
there's so
Obviously,
many.
like, I mean, you've got the Four Kings and that, but they were all before my time, and they're wonderful to watch and repeat.
Yeah. To actually watch one, it's difficult. It's difficult to say, really. I grew up kind of watching Ricky Hatton, really, and I used to love watching Ricky fight. And
Ricky was a real barnstorming fighter. Like, he left it all in the ring.
Ricky
So
Hatton
I think I know what fight you're going to say now.
Ricky Hatton versus Costa Zoo
Exactly.
was an absolute cracker, and that probably made me love boxing even more, to be honest. And yeah, great fight. But to be fair, I like fights for different reasons. Like, if you look at Joshua Klitschko, it was exciting. It had a bit of everything in it. It had a good mixture of stuff. But then it depends how you look at fights, you know.
And you know, one of the worst fights I ever saw was Fury Klitschko. Jesus, that was dreadful.
But then if you look at Fury when he got Wilder for the second fight, it absolutely incredible.
But even the first fight was cracking.
He said he was going to come out and he was going to beat him up, and everyone went, "You're not going to do that." And he came out and he beat him up. It was just unreal. But we got plenty of comments here, Renda. Where do you think AJ Fury first fight will take place? I think personally you're going to be looking Saudi Arabia, over that way.
United Arab Emirates. I don't think it'll be in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it's going to be a ton of money, and it's going to be over that way. There was talk, Eddie even spoke about it the other day, that a guy's come forward to say he wants it on his private yacht, and he's going to pay the money for it. So watch this space. Eddie is
but again, that's just Eddie, the showman, I'd say. Now, I think
Eddie will want in the bar as well. So you never know what goes on in that guy's head. It's unbelievable. Boxing Miles, loved following again, boys. Enjoy your evening. Thanks for coming on, mate.
You've been Miles, and thanks for your
much from the first fight.
You're a guy that knew the stuff, and you were giving your predictions, and they were very, accurate, and so you've very good knowledge as well, and we enjoy having your feedback and your views on it as well. So I really enjoyed your contribution, Miles. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Periscope.
And Mr. Arsenal podcast, for me, the best boxing fight I watched was Lewis versus Tyson when I was about 8 or 9 at the time. Well, two quality fighters,
Absolutely. Tyson was my brother's favorite fighter was Mike Tyson, and I remember my brother wanted to box, and my mother just wouldn't let him. You know.
Yeah.
But he always wanted to be Mike Tyson when he was younger. But Mike Tyson was ferocious. Like Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas is a fight for the ages.
Oh, definitely. If that's one fight you haven't seen, definitely one to watch. I'm very excited about Body Snatcher's rematch. He was winning the fight. He got caught. How do you see the rematch playing out? So, Ender, you can put it in the comments as well, people. How do you see the fight going between White and Povetkin next weekend?
Well, I mean, if White wants to be taken seriously, he needs redemption. So White's going to go all out, and I think it's going to be an absolute blistering war. And it needs to be for White to get his,
he needs to win in style in that fight to get
exactly
himself on the stage, doesn't he?
Yeah, to get himself back up, talked amongst the top contenders.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. What do you say, Black Scorpio? How do you see it going?
So what's your prediction then, Ender?
Oh, yeah, I think White will do it in like I think White will either win or he won't win. I think somebody's getting knocked out.
Yeah.
So I don't even think it'll go past.
You're not
4
really
rounds.
answering, are you? You're not really answering.
What do you think?
Sorry?
What do you think? Because you're just going to copy me, so maybe you should go first.
Oh, I like the deflection there. Very, very, very clever. Personally, I think Povetkin. I think this is last roll of the dice for him. And
well, it's White's last roll of the dice. I feel too.
But I mean in an age sense as well.
Yeah, but I mean, like I meant kind of as in because White kind of has to go the long way around then if he loses again.
Well,
but I still think
I think he's gone the long way round anyway. I think the poor bloke's been sat there for so long.
Yeah, but there's that. But I mean, like he could have fought people, and he did have his drugs bans as well. I mean, he needn't pretend like it was all. Nobody will fight me. It's like, well, you were banned,
But he didn't take easy fights. Let's be honest. Oscar Rivas and people like that, they put up a shift against him as well. And
but I mean, if you want to be at the very top at heavyweight, that's what you got to do. Like, there's no
when he didn't have to. In some cases, because he could have sat there on that thing waiting for a title fight, and he didn't. And that's where I take my hat off to him. But in the other sense, I do know what you mean. But in next weekend, I don't know. I just think it might be a repeat.
Yeah. Well, I still think it'll be over in 4, and I still think someone is getting knocked out. And who that person is, I don't know. But let me be generous to Dillian. Let me be generous to Dillian and say Dillian will get the knockout because he'll want it more.
Yeah. And he's got a point to prove. So
exactly.
I think we'll be doing.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if obviously it was a reversal and Povetkin won in 4.
Well, Black Scorpion says, I think White gets the job done this time, and he's gone for round 3 knockout. So not far off yours anyway. So.
Not far off me at all, because I'm not round 4. I'm within 4. Obviously 1, 2, and 3, and 4 are all mine. I don't do the single round thing because that's like I find that's like trying to pick numbers in the national lottery. You know what I mean? You can't say with great, he's going to knock him out in 3. Like you might get it right. But there's as much luck as there is anything else in that. Whereas you see an early, when I say it's an early knockout, it's because I believe he'll go for the knockout quickly or later because I think he'll wear him down. So I think White will go all out, Povetkin will go all out, someone will get knocked out, and it will be within 4 rounds.
Don't get me wrong, I'd like to see White do it because I would like to see, I'd like to see the British guy do well, and I'd like to see him do it, but. I just think it's one of those, as you say, Ender, it could go either way. One punch in the heavyweight game.
That's what you've got with heavyweights. I mean, you ask Lennox Lewis, Hasim Rahman, what was that about?
Yeah, exactly. So we will be here next weekend for the live watch along for White Povetkin, and we'll do some other fights on the card as well. We're going to do probably we'll do a show midweek just as like a pre-show show, as it were, just to have a look.
Preview show even.
Yeah, we'll do like a breakdown of White versus Povetkin and 2 and see where it goes. But Ender, honestly, thanks for coming on as always. You're an absolute star.
Well, I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the after show chat with the guys and girls, and I enjoyed everyone we've had on today, and it's just been really good. I've really enjoyed this evening.
It's been a really sort of.
I was a little bit distracted by that rugby match, but
yeah.
The result went my way, so I'm happy. But I think I'm going to sit down and watch that rugby match tomorrow.
Well, as I say, it's been a great interactive day since 6 o'clock. We've had some great people, come in the chat.
The day started so well because Ireland beat England in the rugby. Did I mention that?
Yeah, you did mention that. As I say, we've had Nicola Hopewell come on.
Nicola was great, and best of luck to Nicola and her fight coming up.
If anyone's interested in popping on at some stage, give us a DM. We'll have a chat, see where we go from there. And you've been on JG's
Give
Fight
Joel
Talk.
a DM. He's in charge.
JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And thank you very much, Ender. And we'll see you all soon. But until then,
and I'm going to just sleep all day tomorrow, I think.
Until then, we're going to have some of this. See you later, mate. Take care.
Gone the fall.
Are you ready?